I'm making this video to share my thoughts on Deepak Soni flutes, which I received a few days back. So these are the flutes: A sharp bass, G bass, F sharp bass, and D sharp bass. So first of all, when we talk about the quality of the flute, for this price range, the quality of the flute is good. So I'm just going to talk about comparing it with the premium quality other flutes, which would cost you the double or triple amount extra that which I spent for these flutes. So if we compare it with the premium quality other flutes, of course it is quite evident that if the premium flutes which are in the market, if they are charging you the price, the amount, definitely they have worked on that, and it would have a lot of difference with this and that those flutes. Definitely it will have, but I would definitely suggest buying these flutes for the price range which it is offered, especially for the beginners, those who are new into flutes, and those who don't want to spend extra money on flute, or those who don't have money to spend it on flutes. They can definitely opt for these flutes and they can start practicing. So when we say that for a beginner, flute is definitely not required to have the quality of a premium flute. Definitely it is not required that it has the quality of a premium flute. The only thing which is required the most for a beginner is the tuning. The tuning of the flute should be perfect, especially for the beginner, where he will not be able to identify the notes what is playing. After getting an experience, he can identify it, but at the beginning stage you will not be able to identify it. So while beginning, he has to begin with a good properly tuned flute. So these are those flutes, and I have seen a few comments on the videos of Mr. Deepak Soni, of few people saying that these flutes are not properly tuned, but it is definitely not the case. These flutes are properly tuned, and I will show you. I'll play and show you along with the tambura. So what difference it has with those costly flutes? Yes, the feel of premium quality. The bamboo quality is good for this price, and but if you go for a premium quality flute, the quality would be much better, and the feel it gives while touching those flutes is entirely different. And also the blowing of the flute is also different. It gives a different feel for us. But I would suggest these flute in the beginning, because if you practice with these flute, where you need to put a kind of extra effort in blowing, so these flute may not just be so smooth to blow, where you need to put effort into your blowing. And if you practice with these flutes, and then when you think that yes, I have practiced enough and I can go for a premium flute, when you buy those flute, and when you try blowing those flute, it would be easier for you. So after practicing in these flutes, and blowing the premium one would be easier for you, where you may not put extra effort for blowing, and those flute would be smooth, and it would be easy for you to blow. So that is the major difference. So I have these 4 flutes of Deepak Soni, but here I could see that these 2 flutes are of different quality, and this one is of different quality, and this one is of different quality. So here all the notes are good, all the tuning and the swaras, everything are good. So but the blowing of these 2 flute and this one is entirely different. It has a kind of smooth blowing to it when we compare it with these two, which where it is a kind of raw kind of feeling. Maybe these flutes are not matured enough, and also these two has some difference where this one is better than this one. Maybe this has matured better than this bamboo. But when we talk about the notes, I should say frankly that only except for this flute, all the other flutes are perfect in notes, except for this one where when we blow beyond the upper sa, the re, ga and tivra madhyamam is somewhat little bit flat. So where I need to put some more effort in blowing. So but still I would recommend this for a beginner, because though that very slight difference is not gonna cost the beginner much. So he can definitely opt for these flutes and can practice with this. But when we talk about all these 3 other flutes, these are perfect. And I personally like this D sharp bass flute. It gives a good feel while touching it, and blowing is not that much smooth, but I need to practice a lot with this one. I have to practice, and for whatever the instrument, especially the flute, whatever the instrument it is, and especially the flute, we have to get closer to it with practice. So we have to practice a lot, we have to spend time with it, so that it gets friendly with us. So I just personally like this because it gives me a feel of kind of keeping it close and kind of blowing it. I just whenever I just want to practice or something, I just want to take this one and sit along with it, and I just like to spend time with this flute. Which would we would get with some flutes, and I got it with this, and I thank Mr. Deepak Soni for that. So I'll show you the tuning of the flute with tambura. So I have to practice and spend some time with the flute, but you could see that how the notes are with the tambura. I'll go to the F sharp bass. So I would like to conclude that you could opt for these flutes if you are a beginner, if you want to learn flute, and also if you don't have if you don't want to invest money on much money on flute, and it can be used for stage performance and recording everything. So in general these things would depend a lot on your practice and blowing. So if you give a tuned flute of any quality to a big player, that would sound the same when he plays the premium quality flutes. Of course there would be difference, I'm not saying that, but still it would be the same, and those different can be found out by a really experienced person only, but I'm just saying in general. So it depends a lot on our practice and blowing. And about the tuning of the flute, it is good, and it is not like the few comments which I saw for the Deepak Soni flutes in the YouTube channel of his, where some of the comments say that these flutes are not tuned properly. It is not like that, it is tuned properly. And of course these flutes will definitely have quality difference, the feel, the premium blowing, when we compare it with the other premium flutes, which are much costlier. When we compare it with these flutes, they might be double or triple extra, but still there would be difference with the premium quality flutes and this one. So I'll just like to conclude one more thing, that I am not a kind of expert or something like that. I just wanted to share my thoughts so that it would help someone. Thank you.